Okay, today we talk about the recent new episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Nickelodeon version. In this most recent episode, we begin a new chapter with the Ninja Turtles, this time involving traveling through time and space. After having the Turtles start out with introducing their own original characters and introducing a whole plethora of classic 80s characters, some with a few interesting twists to them, we now begin to tackle the reintroduction of characters who were prevalent during the 2006 or thereabouts series. So this time we got a female time traveler character, not one I'm particularly familiar with, but apparently she's been in the early 2000s series. Around about the year 2006 is when her episodes were made because they were rerun recently. And she was also popular in the comics series. So she is an established character, not a new one. Still a great deal of mystery to her, and since this is a different version of that character, I wonder where they're going to go with this. What we saw this time was the Turtles traveling back in time to the medieval era, getting in some good jokes in relation to the medieval era and in relation to the Ninja Turtles free movie and the Turtles in Time video game. And then they fought the big guy who wants to take over all of space and time and reality. They send him off to who knows where. Probably won't be the last we ever see of him because, you know, time travel stuff and whatnot, and who knows what can happen now that time travel is involved, what plots will be done and undone as we gallivant across all of the multiverse. But we could definitely have some interesting characters happen in this. After the adventures in the medieval era, the Turtles end up in Japan surrounded by ninjas. Now, if I'm going to take a guess here, I'd say that this is probably a hero ninja team and not a villain team. They just want to cliffhang us and make us think that. But we'll find out when the new episodes come around again. Some interesting notes on this particular episode. The Turtles were on multiple occasions referred to as Hero Turtles, which is their name over in England, because they're not allowed to say ninja over there. We also get a romantic love interest for Michelangelo. So now Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo all have a love interest, and all that's left is Raphael, and spoiler alert, I hear he's going to get one in a future episode. Another thing about future episodes is that here the guy who played Doctor Who is going to voice a character, which is kind of unfair that the Turtles get him and My Little Pony doesn't, but we still got a good result with what we got in the episode Slice of Life. Ultimately, I'm interested to see where this goes and what kind of characters will come through the timeline, and whether or not we'll see ancestors and descendants of different characters. If we'll see children and grandchildren of established characters, or if we'll see their parents or grandparents or whatever. A few things I would love to have the Turtles discover: the future generations after April O'Neil, the backstory to Hiroto Saki and Hamato Yoshi, and encounters with some of my favorite characters such as Osaki Yojimbo. I'd also like to see the show take a new twist and not reintroduce all of the characters who were popular during the early 2000s series, like Cody and so forth. I found the sci-fi time travel season of the 2000s series to be rather annoying. But this time I think things are being written different and they have complete creative freedom to take what's familiar and give it an interesting twist. So I hope they continue to do that. It'll also be interesting to dive into the idea of doing things like preventing Karai from becoming mutated or preventing her from becoming kidnapped by the Shredder, or trying to do something good and having it backfire and turn out to be the wrong decision, or maybe having a major disaster apocalyptic episode and have the characters have to change the future for the better. Or maybe even dive into the multiverse and have the 80s Turtles and the 2000s Turtles and the current Turtles all team up on some kind of multiverse adventure. Maybe even dive into an alternate world where the heroes are evil and the villains are good. That could be a lot of fun to work with as well. Ultimately, what I really want is for the characters to get back to New York, continue their New York adventures, and put the time travel thing on a shelf for a little bit and bring it back in a few episodes, rather than doing this trapped in time, lost in like time tunnel or quantum leap or sliders or something, where the characters are separated from home and they spend several episodes trying to get back home. I don't really particularly like overarching plots like that where the characters are spending the entire season trying to get back to where they belong and being separated from home. I like it when that kind of story arc is resolved quickly and they maybe space out the all otherworldly travel to episodes that are far apart from each other. Anyhow, it's good to have the Turtles back, and I know a lot of people don't particularly appreciate this series because it's CGI and they made April a teenager and all these other complaints, but I really do think they're doing great, excellent stuff with these characters, and it'd be interesting to see all the different ways that things can turn out from here on out. Maybe even seeing the time traveler character again at different ages in her past and her future. Anyhow, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching and good night.